Hello John and my other friends and welcome to this basic tutorial of Settlers 4. At the start of each game you should go to the Settlers menu, then the basic occupations tab and assign a few more carriers to carry resources around, and also a little more spade and hammer guys to construct buildings faster. The basic resources you need are stone over here gathered by the stone cutter and wood over here gathered by the wood cutters. So at the start of each game you should create a few woodcutter set and stonecutter set, and also a sawmill to transform the lumber to planks. Also, in order to not run out of wood, you will need a forester's hut to replant trees. I will be skipping forward in time because of the time constraints I have on this tutorial. Now that we have our basic resource gathering set up, we will need to expand our borders. So we can do this by building small towers. And there we see our borders grew. We only have a few basic resource gathering buildings, so we should construct more because we will need a lot of resources. So I will build 2 more stone gatherers huts and also a few more woodcutters huts and an additional sawmill. Now, and of course expand our borders further. Now, as this is a military game, we need an army, and to create an army we need to prospect the mountains for minerals. So go to the Settlers menu, then find Settler menu, press the geologist and press on the little globe down there which is search in sector. It will select all your geologists and you may task them to go to the mountain and prospect for minerals. Here we see we have found a lot of iron, some stone, some coal, some sulfur, and eventually they will probably also find some gold. Yes, here we have gold. So at the start of the game I prefer to build 1 each of the basic mines, which is 1 iron mine, 1 coal mine, 1 stone mine. The stone mines are actually quite important because you will run out of stones eventually. They don't regrow. Only the Mayans can create more stones with spells, and of course also a gold mine. To transform the ore to bars you will need a meltery, or here we have an iron smelting works. Also, I prefer to build a toolsmith because you will most certainly need more pickaxes. Now, maybe not on this map, as we see we have 50 spades, 50 hammers, 14 pickaxes, etc. So yeah, we'll just skip forward in time and have those mines built. Now you notice there is food piled up outside of the mines. This is because the miners, while they don't necessarily need food to work, they work better with food. So yeah, the carriers bring food to the mines. Actually, see, we have no free settlers, so we will need to build a residence. I prefer the large residences as they give the most settlers per resource. There, lots of free settlers, which means we can assign more carriers. These free settlers are used to occupy buildings like mines and also to be trained into soldiers. Returning to food, like you see, the starting food is eventually eaten, so we need to produce more food, and to do this we need 2 things. We need goat ranches and we need bakeries and also fisher heads for gold mines. So we will start by finding a river and then building a water worker hut by the river to gather water. Close to the water worker hut we will place a bakery to bake flour and water to bread. Obviously for flour we will need a grain mill, and for grain we will need a grain farm. And actually we'll need quite a lot of grain farms, so I'm gonna build 5 of them. remember to move the gathering point using the bullseye button. Now we will produce bread, but bread is only eaten by coal and stone miners, while iron miners require meat. So for meat we will build a sheep ranch for Romans. This is a goat ranch for mines, and I don't pig ranch or something for Vikings, in which grain and water will be used to breed animals, and then the animals will be slaughtered in the slaughterhouse, and the meat from the slaughterhouse will be brought to the mines. Here we have our food industry working. For gold miners we will need to build a fisherman's hut to provide them with fish. We have our iron smelter ready, and we will need a weaponsmith works to produce weapons, and obviously for better soldiers we will need gold bars. So we will also build a gold smelting work right here. In the weaponsmith works we select a book, then sword. Here we can adjust the amount of swords, bows and armors. I like to put it on infinite swords, infinite bows, about 60% swords, and usually 5 armors. The armors are used for squad leaders to create command groups. Then finally we need to set up our barracks somewhere up here, and a few more residences for settlers to be turned into soldiers. Now that our barracks is ready and has weapons piled in front of it, we can set the gathering point somewhere and go to the menu and select what kind of soldiers we want to build. Here in the first row we have the basic soldiers. They require only a weapon and a settler. More advanced settlers, tier 2 and tier 3 soldiers, excuse me, require gold bars, with level 3 soldiers requiring 2 gold bars and squad leaders requiring 3. So I will recruit 1 squad leader and 10 swordsmen and bowmen of rank 2. And here we have our army. Now to create a squad we will select some soldiers by boxing around them and the squad leader and pressing Control and a number. The advantage is that a group sticks close together instead of wandering around, and well, one soldier at a time like they would if they were ungrouped and just die alone. And that pretty much completes this tutorial. I hope you have now learned the basics of settlers for John and Abby and other friends of mine.